Good morning. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, mhm. It is Sunday, and things are good. Um, if you've been anywhere near Facebook, you've seen the the deluge of American AI-generated anti-Mark Carney propaganda. Specifically anti-Mark Carney. Yeah. And it is being pushed by certain, quote, grassroots Canadian groups that are operating mainly out of Langley, Virginia, Tel Aviv, and Moscow. Yeah. 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 Grassroots Canadian. Yeah. Like, dude, you don't even hide the fact that you're speaking Russian as your native tongue. Dude, yeah. And these are the important parts of the Conservative Party platform, along with Pierre Poilievre regurgitating Donald Trump anti-Obama propaganda from 20 years ago, with a new twist. Now it is Mark Carney, who is the Kenyan-born Muslim homosexual communist, who any minute now is going to abolish Christianity in the United States, I mean Canada. Basically, it's just switch the names and regurgitate the same bullshit. And it's the same bullshit he was using when Justin Trudeau was Prime Minister, and it's the same bullshit that his boss, Donald Trump, used when Obama was president and when Biden was president. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to nullify the existence of certain well-earned university degrees among heads of state who you hate because they're not you. Yeah. Now, we all know that Poilievre does not have a university degree. He went straight from community college to the back rooms of the Conservative Party. We know he has no education doing anything else except being the coffee boy for Stephen Harper. And we know that he is screamingly incompetent. He's really big on American-style theatrics, especially invoking cowboy imagery. Now, I've talked about this in other videos. Conservative politics dressing up like proletariat, wearing a construction helmet on a construction site in front of a bunch of actors who are dressed as construction workers. Because he's sure as fuck never going to allow a real construction worker anywhere near him. But yes, a bunch of actors dressed as construction workers who stand there and shake his hand and chant Conservative Party platitudes at this point. Well, actually, not even Conservative Party platitudes, Republican Party platitudes. Because that's really what the Conservative Party of Canada has now. They're not the Conservative Party of Canada. They are no longer the party of God, King, and Country. They're the party of doing what America wants. And while it is certainly true that Mark Carney is doing his best to kiss ass back up to the Americans, he's doing it within reason. Whereas Harper was not within reason. He was just absolutely in treason. Yes, treason, as opposed to reason. And yes, Polyev is also still very much actively engaging in treason, propping up Alberta separatists and white supremacist groups of every sort. We have people from a white supremacist organization, an American-backed white supremacist organization, right here in Owen Sound, giving speeches to city council to remind people how important it is to only recognize heritage Canadians as Canadians and not those dirty immigrants. And when they say dirty immigrants, they don't mean dirty immigrants. What they mean is Canadian-born people who are not white. Because, yeah, they're perfectly comfortable with immigrants from Russia, Ukraine, Germany, Norway, Sweden, Denmark. Countries full of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people with pale skin. Those people are heritage Canadians, even if they're fresh off the boat and don't speak a word of English or French. They're heritage Canadians. Meanwhile, Ranjit Singh, whose father is in the army and whose grandfather was in the army and whose great-grandfather stormed the beaches of Normandy in 1944, and whose great-great-grandfather held the line at Ypres in 1915, all while wearing the Canadian uniform. They're not heritage Canadians. I mean, except for the very end one, the one who fought in the First World War, they were all born in Canada, born and raised in Canada. But they have dark skin, and they wear turbans, and they practice a religion called Sikhism, which conservatives cannot tell the difference between Sikhism and Islam. They just know that they've been told for years to hate and fear Islam. And so they do. And by default and extension, they also hate Sikhism, Hinduism, Jainism. Yes, Jainism is a religion. J-A-I-N, Jain, not J-A-N-E, a woman's name. It's a religion practiced in India, a religion of peace. Peace, and more peace, with very few notable exceptions. It's an imperfect religion, but so are all religions. But the most important thing about it is it's a beautiful religion. Famous for creating beautiful art, beautiful music, beautiful literature. Yeah. But for today's crop of arch-conservatives, every religion that is not either Judaism or Christianity is indistinguishable from Islam, despite the fact that the differences are screamingly obvious. And yeah, the white supremacists, with their rather fucked up notion of heritage Canadian, yeah, they're very much in favor of a Canada inhabited exclusively by pale-skinned Europeans. Now, as a person with a Métis background, I'm also not included as a Canadian to these people. These people who, yes, they vote conservative and would gladly vote Republican if given the opportunity. I'm not a Canadian to them either. Even though my ancestors have literally lived here for thousands of years, I'm not a heritage Canadian because I'm not white enough for them. Yeah. I mean, I was born and raised here. My parents were born and raised here. My grandparents were all born and raised here. My great-grandparents were all born and raised here. but I am not a heritage Canadian to them. I am not a heritage Canadian to them because I have Native ancestry. I may also have some African ancestry in there as well, going way, way back. I may have some African ancestry. It's a possibility. Yeah. So, yeah, to them, I cannot be a heritage Canadian. But Olaf Sigurdsson, who's just got off the plane from Sweden, is definitely a heritage Canadian to them. Yeah. Except that Olaf, he likes his socialism. He likes his public health care and public education and public roads and his labor union protections, which to the conservatives means he's a damn dirty commie. Yeah. Yeah. So they won't welcome him as a heritage Canadian for very long either. But for the brief moment that they do, they'll cheer how he's such a perfect example of a true native-born Canadian, all the way from Sweden. Yeah. I have a funny feeling that Olaf will probably be on our side, not on their side. Yeah. But explain that to them. Huh? Yeah. Well. Anyway. Yeah. So, one of the things that I really wanted to talk about here is the downright treasonous nature of the Conservative Party today. Not just at the federal level, but also provincially, right across the country, especially in Alberta, where, yeah, they're literally talking about separating from the country. And they've been pretty blatantly open about it ever since they were offered a big chunk of money by Ronald Reagan back in the 80s. Yeah. 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 Funny that. Yeah. So yeah, I am a Canadian. I am a proud Canadian. I loved this country. I disagree with my government on many things. And yes, I even disagree with my government when my government happens to be the Liberal Party, which, by the way, incidentally, has been classic conservative for a long time. We haven't really had a true liberal party in this country in a long time. Oh, wait, the NDP. The NDP have shifted from socialism to flat liberalism, while liberals have gone from being liberal to conservative, and the conservatives have gone from being conservative to batshit fucking crazy, reactionary, pro-American, treasonous bastards, hell-bent on selling out the country to Washington and Mar-a-Lago and pocketing the profits as they trundle off to their new ranch in Texas. Yeah. Now, this is not to say that I think that Mark Carney is a great prime minister. He's not. But I will say at least he's not Pierre Poilievre. At least he's not Pierre Poilievre. And yes, the YouTube and Facebook AI-generated anti-liberal propaganda out there that is being pushed into our country definitely shows an understanding of American civics rather than Canadian civics, with the notion that we somehow elect our prime minister directly rather than electing our local representative, and then the party that wins, their leader becomes the prime minister. Yeah, that's a thing in this country. We don't elect the head of state directly. We do it indirectly. We vote for the party, and the head of the party becomes the head of state. Yeah. It's a strange thing that these people who purport to be loyal Canadian patriots don't know and understand this. And assume, wrongly I might add, that the Canadian system is like the American system, where you have one person running for president. Specifically, the office of president. Because that's how they do it in the American system. Trump didn't run as the representative for Mar-a-Lago, who just happened to be the head of the party and was therefore by default the president. He ran specifically for the office of president. Carney, by becoming the head of state, by being voted by the party to become the head of the party, became the head of state by default. But he was also legally elected in his riding as a representative of his riding. And Pierre Poilievre, who cannot get elected anywhere because nobody will vote for him. Even the most desperately right-wing conservatives won't vote for him because he's that dumb. Poilievre cannot run for the office of prime minister directly. He has to run for the office of representative for an electoral riding. Basic civics here. Yeah, basic Canadian civics, which the Americans, Russians, and Israelis who are churning out this anti-Canadian propaganda meant at dividing this country. They don't know this because they think Canada must be like the Americans. You vote for the president directly. In fact, sometimes they accidentally refer to the Canadian head of state as the President of Canada, which is, yeah, a classic American blunder that I keep encountering among Americans who think they know more about Canada than I do as a Canadian. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Nobody is going to vote for Pierre Poilievre. In his own home riding, nobody will vote for him because they know him. And in all the other ridings that he tries to take over because he knows that it's a sure bet within the Conservative Party that these people will vote Conservative, nobody there voted for him either. Yeah. At least we know Mark Carney was legally elected in his own riding. He was elected in his own riding. He won the majority of votes in his riding. And therefore, he is a legitimate member of Parliament. And the Liberal Party of Canada voted to make him the head of the party, which makes him the Prime Minister, pending the approval of the Governor-General, who is the King's representative, but who is also elected by the Canadian Senate. Yeah. A whole chain of elections here. The only person who didn't have to be elected somewhere along the line was King Charles III. Good old Charlie boy. Damn it, if Charlie came to Canada and ran for office in my riding, I would vote for him. Because, yeah, he's just a good boy. He is. He is a good boy. I'll pat him on the head, give him a dog biscuit. He is a good boy. But I would vote for him. If Charlie Windsor showed up here in Bruce Grey Owen Sound running for office, he would probably be running as a liberal, a classic liberal, and I would vote for him. Absolutely. Because, yeah, he's actually a good and decent person. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, is it just me, or is this country failing to teach civics to its young people? I think it's both. This country is failing to teach civics to its young people. But also, yes, we're getting a lot of American propaganda written by Americans who barely understand American civics and certainly don't understand Canadian civics, who are writing this propaganda pretending badly, I might add, to be Canadian patriots, when in fact they're working out of an office in Langley, Virginia, home of the CIA, or an office near Mar-a-Lago, where they can be close to their boss. Diaper Donnie. Yeah. Yeah. And you can probably hear a raven in the background. Yeah. There it is. Yeah. Diaper Donnie. Diaper Donnie. How the fuck did the American public vote for that moron? Anyways. Yeah. I gotta go. I got stuff I gotta do, stuff to take care of. All you good people, take care, be well, love yous all, love yous all. You're wonderful people. Even those of you who, are being suckered by, Pierre Poilievre and the Republican Party. You're still good people. You're just really fucking gullible. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, you're all good people. Take care, be well, stay safe, everybody out there, and enjoy your weekend, or what's left of it. Hopefully you have the day off and you can get out to the beach. Me, I'm going to be fighting with a lawnmower. Yeah, I'm going to be fighting with a lawnmower. Yeah, I have a lot of grass to cut. Take care, be well, stay safe. Okay.